Cooper against Nino Schurter, and there's not much in it at all. Cooper's digging deep. Is Cooper coming back? Cooper is going to get it. Cooper is going to take his first World Cup win. Oh, it's a photo finish, and it goes to Nino Schurter. Schurter, wow, how close was that?
In recent times, the Spark RC platform has been the most successful XC race bike in the industry.
Look how much that means. Country World Cups this year. Nino Schurter. Kane Corley for the Unity for Nino Schurter. He's even got the strength to lift his bike.
With several World Championships, more World Cups than we can count, and even a couple of very special shiny yellow medals, this family of cross-country race bikes has changed the way the industry looks at cross-country racing. When it came time to developing the all-new Spark RC platform, the successful history left our development team scratching their heads. How do you improve upon the best? Let's find out. Before we get to the most obvious change on the bike, let's look at something we absolutely wanted to keep from the previous version. A full suspension bike will never have success without, well, good suspension design. From the first time we rode the Spark single pivot layout, we fell in love. And years later, we still believe that for the high pace and technical aspect of modern cross-country racing, it's the best approach. Using a flex pivot in the seat stay is an ideal solution for bikes in this travel range. This allows us to keep a very lightweight system while still ensuring optimal suspension performance. Now, a more noticeable change is that we've moved to a frame platform with an integrated shock. Why, you ask? Well, for one, we think it looks fantastic. But if we take a deeper look, this approach allows us to refine suspension characteristics without sacrificing weight. Often, when working with bikes at this level, the concept of marginal gains becomes an even more important one. For the optimal performance of a suspension shock, power transfer must be the most direct possible. What we want to avoid are any inefficient movements, or in other words, lateral movements sideways to the direction of travel, especially as the shock goes through its compression. Having an integrated shock allows us to improve this in several ways. Firstly, the frame construction around the shock and with the trunnion mount can be designed to be much more rigid, reducing movement and fostering more efficient power transfer. We can also add much larger bearings to the seat tube pivot, further reinforcing this area and reducing any unnecessary motion. Our integrated suspension technology also helps us to engineer frames with a lower shock placement, which lowers the center of gravity. As a result, the bike benefits from better handling and a more stable, confidence-inspiring ride for the end user. While these may seem like minor improvements, individually, the sum of their parts results in a more efficient shock performance. Additionally, the shock is fully protected from any foreign elements. Rainy race? No problem. Your shock will continue to perform at its best regardless. Let's take a look at how this system works. This single pivot suspension layout is based on our patented integrated suspension technology. Looking through the frame, we see that as the rear wheel goes through the motions, our patented internal link compresses the shock. Accessing the shock via the bottom bracket area is facilitated through a hatch. This makes it easy to adjust shock pressure, rebound, and compression, and for installing or replacing the cable for our twin lock suspension system. Setting sag is also easy, as you can see what sag you're running via an indicator on one of the pivots. Want to know if you're using full suspension travel? Have a look through a port in the seat tube where you can see where your O-ring sits. You can easily move it back down to reset. We took great care in making sure that working on this bicycle was just as easy as working on any of our other bikes. It is still very simple to install or uninstall the shock via well thought out access points to the shock bolts. The Spark RC comes with either a Fox Nude or a RockShox Nude shock, both giving 120mm of rear wheel travel. The Spark features our Twin Lock suspension system. Twin Lock is a proprietary Scott suspension system that works by connecting the shock, fork, and ultimately the frame via a handlebar remote. With the remote, the user has the ability to choose from 3 ride modes, effectively changing the bike's geometry, suspension damping, and spring curve simultaneously. With Twin Lock, you can have 3 bikes in one. Need the most efficient bike for the sprint out of the gate? Lockout mode is perfect for that. Technical single track or punchy climbs where traction and power transfer are key? Switch to traction control mode and off you go. And when you get to the top and it's time to give it your all on the descents, open up the suspension and downhill mode to take advantage of everything that the Spark has to offer. Twin Lock is especially important when it comes to technical cross-country racing. But don't take it from me, take it from this guy. He's got a lot of experience using it.
twin lock makes this bike the best racing machine you can get. If you want to attack, you want to sprint, you want to just go full gas on the tarmac, it's locked. Then you have the open mode for descending. It's like a trail bike. You can go rough descents down, take big jumps, but then in between you also need to attack on flat single trails where you want to have a bit of extra traction, you want to have a bit of comfort, but you can't have the full travel that it starts to annoying you actually when you are pedaling hard. For there you have the traction mode.
Our new lever also features the dropper post actuation below the bar. This ergonomic solution puts all of the bike's controls in one place, making them easily accessible on the fly. Looking at the frame layout in general, we took years of feedback from the world's fastest athletes to develop the new Spark RC's geometry. One of the main goals for the bike was to have a platform designed around 120 millimeters of suspension travel front and rear.
It flies from its own.
Having more suspension travel for the increasingly technical racetracks was a priority. The result is the most capable XC race bike ever, and the lightest one on the market with 120 millimeters of front and rear suspension, coming in at just 1,870 grams with shock. Working with athletes like Nino Schurter, Kate Courtney, and the rest of the Scott SRAM team, we were able to pinpoint exactly what we wanted in terms of geometry. We wanted the most dynamic of cross-country bikes, so we aimed to have a geometry solution that sacrificed nothing in terms of efficiency when you need to put the power down or fly up technical climbs, while giving athletes a safe and confidence-inspiring ride on the way back down. And as usual, another goal of ours was to keep things light. We engineered the Spark to have two main construction zones, a stiffness zone and a lightweight zone. Through strategic carbon reinforcement in the stiffness zone, we can afford to really shave weight in the lightweight zone. Some areas of the frame have less thickness than a credit card. Now, integrating a shock presents a few constraints for weight, but our team managed to develop our lightest full suspension carbon front and rear triangles to date for this project, achieving something that we always want with our carbon mountain bikes. And that is a ride that does not weigh you down while pushing you to go harder and harder.
You can attack like a cross-country bike, but as soon as you hit the top and you want to descend, it feels like a trail bike.
The all-new Spark platform is designed around a 55mm chain line, and this allows us to do a few very interesting things. Firstly, we can guarantee great tire clearance while not sacrificing any stiffness, and this is key when it comes to power transfer. Additionally, and we can say this is great for the XC racers, we can easily fit 40-tooth chain rings. By popular demand, we also made sure that there was room for 2 water bottles in the frame for those, 2 water bottle days. All bearings on the frame come with an extra seal to fight against the elements and to foster better performance for longer. The new Spark features an all-new Fraser IC combo from Syncros. Integrating the cables presents a number of unique problems, and the Fraser was designed in part to address this. Syncros' designers worked on the shape to allow the cables to flow under the bar and around the sides of the stem before disappearing into the headset with integrated plastic parts to keep everything clean and efficient. This avoids bends or kinks in the cables and provides a minimalist front end.
It's not just a brand new bike, it's also a brand new cockpit. It's also important for me that when you look down, everything looks clean and nice. And we also worked hard to get the perfect position.
All of Syncros' bars and stems feature multiple options for computer, light, and camera mounts, both on top or under the bar. With the new Spark, you can also adjust the head angle by 0.6 degrees either slacker or steeper. This can be done without cutting cables or bleeding brakes. All you must do is disassemble the bar, rotate the headset cups 180 degrees, and reassemble. The bike also features clever chainstay protection to not only protect your bike but also keep things nice and quiet. Our rear axle tool has been a staple on our bikes for years, and it is now better than ever. It features a T25, a T30, and a 6 Allen key all in one. With these 3 options, you can adjust all pivot hardware and nearly everything else there is to adjust on the bicycle.
Even if it's really hard racing and you're suffering a lot, you need to have fun.
Nino Super Schurter is going to do it again! He's going to take his 29th World Cup win in emphatic style here in Val di Sole. It was unbelievable.